Hi guys, today's case is going to be on the bizarre killing of Orsolya Gaal. Links to all of my sources, extended articles, and videos will be in the description below. Please keep in mind that this is an ongoing investigation. Therefore, there are still things that are being revealed as we speak. And although I do research every case, my resources are limited to public knowledge. I am a storyteller, not a private investigator. I apologize if there are any discrepancies in today's story. Now let's get into today's case. Orsolya Gaal was a 51-year-old, beautiful, adventurous Hungarian woman. She studied at the Budapest Business School College of International Management and Business. Orsolya was the mother of two teen boys, 13-year-old Leo and 17-year-old Jamie. She was a stay-at-home mom and the wife of Howard Klein, an investment banker who moved to the States from Hungary. He studied at the University of Michigan and received a Bachelor of Arts in Economics. He also studied at the University of Columbia, where he received his MBA in Finance. In 2002, he founded the company boutique financial advisory firm RK Equities. So overall, we're talking about very well-educated, successful people. Orsolya lived with her family in an upscale gated community called Forest Hills in Queens, New York. The couple owned a $2.2 million Tudor-style home with 5 bedrooms. On April 15, 2022, just this past Easter weekend, Orsolya was playing with the family dog Teddy in her backyard. Her neighbor John Blankson remembered seeing her. Now, Howard, her husband, he was out of town on a trip with their eldest son, Jamie. Howard and Jamie were in Portland, Oregon, scouting out colleges, while Leo, the 13-year-old, stayed at home with his mom. Orsolya was known to be very adventurous and to try a lot of different things. She loved the outdoors. She loved seeing shows and plays and things like that. That evening, Orsolya had made plans to go see a show with some friends at Lincoln Center in Manhattan. She told her son Leo that she would be out for a couple of hours that evening and she was going to see some friends and possibly meet up with someone else. This is where things get a little bit like, girl, what was you doing? What was you doing? So Orsolya prepared herself and she got ready and she went out. This is the last time her son would ever see her alive. Later on that night, after she had separated from her friends, Orsolya was last seen on security surveillance at a local bar in Queens. She was seen in the bar for about 40 minutes, apparently waiting on someone before leaving and returning home. On Saturday morning, April 16th, just after 8 a.m., a man was walking his 2 dogs along the side of a major highway when he stumbled across a sports duffel bag. I believe it was described as a hockey bag. He found the bag on the side of the road along Metropolitan Avenue in Forest Hill. Initially, he thought that the bag was trash that someone had thrown away. He became suspicious when his dogs became agitated as they neared the bag. According to independent.com, he opened the bag and looked inside. And initially, he thought that he was just looking at a mannequin, or as he described, a test dummy. He wasn't really sure at first what he was looking at until he noticed black jeans and a waist. That's when he realized that he was looking at a human body. There was blood on the bag and the body was in the fetal position. Shocked and disturbed by what he had just discovered, he called 911. NYPD arrived on the scene and identified the body as 51-year-old Orsolya Gaal. She had been stabbed 58 times and was pronounced dead on the scene. At the time, she did not have her ID on her. Police took a statement from the man who made the gruesome discovery. His name was Glenn Van Nostrand. Later, Mr. Van Nostrand told the New York Post, and I quote, "It didn't look very fleshy in regards to the body he discovered. It was more like a crash test dummy. I thought it was maybe some equipment being used for something. I didn't think anything of it," he said. Now, after he gave his initial statement to police, Mr. Van Nostrand began to head back home with his 2 dogs. He wanted to drop the dogs off before going to the police station and making a full report. But on his way back, the dogs picked up the scent of the blood droplets that was left behind from the duffel bag. It was about 100 meters away from where the body was found on Juno Street. Some of the cops followed him and his dogs back to where the blood trail was leading to. The blood trail led all the way back to a $2.2 million Tudor-style home. It was the residence of Orsolya Gaal and her family. This is how they made their initial identification of her body, because of the blood trail leading back to her home. When they arrived to her home, they found her 13-year-old son, Leo, upstairs on the second floor. They initially apprehended him and took him into custody for questioning. But once they had him down at the police station, he was later released that day to a relative. Once he was at the police station, he did tell police that he had no idea what happened, that his mother had planned on going out with some friends, and she was maybe supposed to meet somebody else that night, and that's all he knew. He really didn't know much more. He was cleared of any suspicions of his mother's death. Like I said, this is an ongoing investigation, so there's still details that haven't been released to the public yet, so we're still learning about this as we go along. Now, the blood that was found was apparently fresh blood, so it wasn't like dried blood that had been sitting there for a while. It was fresh blood, so they knew that the murder or the killing had taken place within a couple of hours. Probably sometime around 12:40 or before 12:40 that night. So police did a full-on investigation. They contacted Orsolya's husband, Howard, and her son to let them know that what was going on. Howard got on a plane immediately to come back to New York from Portland, him and his son. Orsolya's husband, Howard, told police that he had been receiving text messages from Orsolya's phone the night of the murder. The details of these text messages have not been released to the public yet. So I don't know exactly word for word what was said, but allegedly the text messages included someone saying, "Your wife sent me to jail some time ago and now I'm back, and your whole family is next." Okay. That's alarming. An initial autopsy report was done on Orsolya's body. The medical examiner concluded that Orsolya's cause and manner of death was homicide by sharp force injury to the neck. They also said that she had some injuries to her hands, the palms of her hands to be exact, and her fingers, that appeared to be defensive wounds. There were other wounds to her arms that also appeared to be defensive wounds. The amount of stab wounds to her body led investigators to believe that this was not someone that was a stranger. This was somebody that she knew, because stabbing is something that is really personal. So investigators knew right off the bat that it was somebody who knew her, and this was a personal attack. Now, they don't believe that this was a planned murder. They do think that it was just a homicide, that it happened kind of spare of the moment. They said that it was someone who must have really, really hated her, that had a strong hatred for her, just the amount of wounds and the way that it was done by stabbing. They said that it could possibly be a spouse, a child in this instance, or allegedly it's someone who she testified against. Now, according to an article written by the New York Post, investigators are looking to question an ex-lover who knew where a spare key was hidden at the property and wouldn't have to force his way into the house. Not much information has been released about the crime scene. There was no sign of break-in at the home, but police did find evidence in the home that suggested Orsolya had been attacked there and then stabbed in the basement of the home. Investigators believe that someone followed her home from the bar and then attacked her shortly after her arrival home. Someone who knew how to get in and had access into the home easily. Once inside, they believe that this person attacked Orsolya before taking her to the basement and stabbing her multiple times. Then they believe that the assailant took her body and stuffed it into what is believed to be one of her children's sports bags, before dragging her out of the side door and down the road where the blood trail led them. Surveillance footage from the neighbor's doorbell caught a shadowy hooded figure lugging the sports bag with Orsolya's body in it down the road away from the home around 4:30 a.m. It is unclear if the suspect is male, female, so we don't know the gender. We don't know how old they were, if it's an adult or a child. And let me tell you, y'all, these days, these kids are big, okay? And I'm not body shaming or anything like that, so don't even come at me with that, okay? But y'all know what I'm talking about. These are some big boys out here, okay? 12, we're talking 11, 12, 13, they big these days. So I'm just saying, I'm not trying to put it on anybody, but now police did look into the group of people initially that she was hanging out with that night, the group of friends she went to go meet up with. Now this was not the first time something bizarre happened to Orsolya. On May 29th, 2020, according to the New York Post, Orsolya Gaal's husband, Howard Klein, called 911 around 7:21 a.m. on May 29th, 2020, to report his wife missing, telling cops she went for a walk around 12:30 a.m. and hadn't returned home. Okay, that's suspicious. Now, Howard told the emergency operators that his wife wasn't in their home when he had woken up that morning. But then, 30 minutes later, he called back and said that they had actually found her. As you can imagine, this incident just adds more to the mystery of what the hell happened to Orsolya. On Monday night, April 18th, police were seen in the home searching a bedroom on the second floor. Investigators were seen leaving with multiple boxes of evidence. I think it's very interesting that they were searching the second floor of the home, seeing as how they believe that the murder actually took place in the basement. Why would they be on the second floor? Now let's get into the theories. As I'm sitting here filming this with you guys, going over the possible theories, new information has surfaced and come to light that I want to read for you guys here. This is from the New York Post, and it says that they believe now that police are now identifying her alleged killer as 44-year-old ex-lover and handyman David Bonola, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, who is also a handyman. They believe that he entered the home either using a spare key or with Gaal letting him inside of the home. They believe that around 12:40 a.m., after a heated argument, Bonola, who had a 2-year on and off again affair with Gaal, allegedly stabs her nearly 60 times in the basement and then stuffed her body into her son's black hockey bag before rolling her down the street. They said around 4:30 a.m. the video surveillance on the doorbell caught him rolling her down the street. Now, police said they believe that he fled through Forest Park, where detectives recovered a jacket they believe he wore during the violent attack and dumped it in the park. Bonola allegedly suffered serious wounds to his hands during the struggle with Gaal and sought treatment at a local clinic where the wounds were deemed serious enough that he was referred to a hospital. So this is how they tracked him down. Police also recovered a pair of bloody boots in the trash can outside of Gaal's home. Cops also recovered a t-shirt and bloody bandages they believed belonged to Bonola. Wednesday evening, so yesterday evening, this is all just coming out right now, but Wednesday evening, which was yesterday, when you're watching, I don't know when this video is going to go up. I don't know if it's going to go up today or tomorrow. When I'm filming this, it's Thursday, so this just happened yesterday. And it says that police said Bonola was wanted for questioning, walked into the 112th Precinct Station House and made incriminating statements while speaking to detectives. Why, child? Why? Why you gonna go and stab somebody nearly 60 damn times and then go into the police statement, acting irate and making incriminating statements? Why? He done lost it. So just now, as we're speaking, David Bonola was arrested and charged with Orsolya's murder. I'm going to read the charges here for you guys so that you can kind of understand what's going on. He was charged with murder, criminal tampering, and criminal possession of a weapon for, having the knife and stabbing Gaal. Oh my God, this is crazy. And I'm gonna tell you, this motherfucker looked crazy. He looked like he didn't done it. If he didn't do it, he looked like he didn't done it. He looks haywire. Okay, so I don't really know what to say with this. All I can say is, ladies and gentlemen, be careful who you effing with. Like, for real, for real, for real. People out there, trust me, be careful who you effing with. Seriously, check them out. Check up on them. According to an article written by the New York Post, it says that the ponytailed suspect was less forthcoming when quizzed by reporters, spitting out expletives as he was led out of the 11/12th precinct Thursday afternoon. FU MFers, Bonola, sporting a white Tyvek suit, screamed before he was shoved into a waiting police car. Well, I'm glad they got his ass. Bonola, who cops said has no prior arrest, was a handyman who was employed by Mrs. Gaal for about 2 years, and during that time they had an intimate affair. I mean, like I said, y'all, be careful who y'all out here with, okay? And that's no judgment to her. Like, I'm not judging anybody, I'm not sex shaming anybody, nothing like that. Y'all know I don't do that over here. But this is just common sense. Like, I'm just giving you some real life sense. It said they had re-sparked their on-again, off-again affair this month just to break up again. And Bonola came back to speak about the relationship again, added Chief Julie Morrill, who led the investigation. Police resources said the former lovers did not have plans that evening, but Bonola showed up to Gaal's home at around 12:30 a.m. Not long after the mom of two had returned from an evening out with friends to see a show at Lincoln Center and then a drink alone at a local bar. This woman was just trying to live her life, okay? Y'all gotta listen. Okay, out there, this is advice for the world. Take this as an example, okay? Learn from it. Stop getting into these entanglements, okay? Stop it, all right? It's not, stop it. And if you're gonna get into an entanglement, make sure it's like a good entanglement and set it up right. Like, this is, now I'm gonna keep reading the New York Post article because I think that it's so descriptive. It says that the suspect, who bears a striking resemblance to the Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash, was either let in voluntarily by Gaal or used a key that he knew was stashed inside a garbage to get in. A heated argument ensues between the two in the basement. A knife is brandished, I never heard that word, but brought out, I'm guessing, and a violent struggle ensues, resulting in our victim being stabbed ruthlessly and brutally in excess of 55 times, causing her demise. Now, I want to say, I know that there's a discrepancy of how many times she had been stabbed. There's different articles out there, 60 times, 58 times, 55 times. There's a plethora of different times that people are saying that she had been stabbed, which is like insane. From my knowledge, I'm just going to go based off of what the medical examiner reported, which was 58 times. It says that Bonola then retrieved a hockey bag belonging to Mrs. Gaal's son, placed her in the bag, and as the video showed, was seen rolling the body down the sidewalk, leaving a bloody trail through the streets of Forest Hills. Gaal's 13-year-old son was upstairs in the house, unaware that his mom was being butchered in the basement. My God, this is insane. Police resources says that the alleged slaying was not premeditated. that once Gaal was dead, Bonola panicked and stuffed her remains into the hockey bag because he didn't want the family to find her body. It says that Bonola then rolled the duffel bag through Forest Hills in a direction of his Richmond Hill home. I guess he was planning on storing her there or disposing of the body there. Who knows what he was thinking at that point. And he dumped it outside of Forest Park, leaving behind a trail of blood that led back to Gaal's side door. Can you be any stupider, sir? I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes I get heated, I just have to say that. Bonola has 2 apparent Facebook accounts, one in which he used to comment on Orsolya Gaal's post. Scantily used account, which suggests he was a script writer, also sent a heart to a photo Gaal posted in October of 2019 of her in a field. The mom gave a thumbs up to his comment each time. Neither appeared to be officially listed as friends Thursday on either of their accounts, including another under his name that was used a little more regularly, it says. Now, it says that during his alleged confession, Bonola also admitted to sending disturbing text messages from his murdered lover's phone to her husband, Howard Klein, warning that he and his family were in danger. Police found the threat to be baseless and stressed that he acted alone. The lead investigator on the case said, "I just want to ensure the public and especially the residents of Forest Hills that there are no outstanding suspects at this time." In the early stages of the investigation, cops quickly suspected the killer knew Gaal because there were no signs of a break-in, like I said. The ferocity of the attack suggested it was a personal and fueled by anger. They zeroed in on the handyman real quick. So, I mean, I had all of these theories, and now, I mean, we know who the killer is. I feel like this case went super fast. It just flashed by right before my eyes. This just happened like a week ago, and now they've already solved the case. I mean, I just have to say, like, congratulations and hats off to NYPD, because that was like the fastest I've ever seen the police solve a case and be on top of it like that. I mean, I know each investigation is different, but wow, I'm just shocked. What did you guys think about this case? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you like videos like these, you can check out my other videos. I'll leave them linked on the screen right here or right here. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Please share because it really helps me out. And I'll see you guys next time with another episode. Bye.